This is the new Apple Watch Series 10, and I'm gonna tell you why you may or may not need it. What's up everybody, Brian Tong here, outdoors, because yes, we're talking Apple Watch Series 10. I wanna let you know out of the gates, I own a Series 7, okay? That means I'm not a fanboy or lemming who updates every year, so when I update, it means something, at least it does for me. But right here, this is the Series 10. We know that it's coming in two sizes, 42 millimeters and 46 millimeters for the actual casing, and it has the biggest display Apple has ever had, even larger than the Apple Watch Ultra and Ultra 2. So I figured, you know what, let's just see how the Apple Watch and its display has evolved over time. All right, so let's take a look at this in action. I have four Apple Watches here. We have a Series 2, a Series 6, a Series 7, and then a Series 10. These are all different sizes. So let's look at their screens and just get an idea of what the differences are. We might have to pause this just to put in a still image, but there we go. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so you can look at these numbers right here and see the different sizes between them. If you go all the way from a Series 2 in the beginning and you jump up all the way to the far right, which is a Series 10, that is a 75% difference in screen real estate. And you can see how that also translates from the size of the tap targets or those numbers. Then you go from the Series 6 to the Series 10, that is a 30% difference in screen size. And then if we go from that Series 7 right there, basically Series 7, 8, and 9, all the way to the right for the Series 10, that is a 9% difference. But you can see the size of the characters and you can see the size of the buttons. All right, now let's look here. Even if you look at their main, let's see this main watch face, you can also see the differences across the board. It just gets slightly bigger as you go up to each screen size. And these were the key moments or the key design changes between the different models of Apple Watch. So we have these four here. I'm gonna remove the Series 2 because I forgot the passcode, so I can't show you. I can't show you this, but bear with me everybody. We're gonna go in here into a specific app just to give you an example. Here's the app icons. I know I'm moving these around, but just bear with me. And let's go find something like the calculator app. Okay, there it is. Sorry y'all, just keep it going, calculator app, and this is gonna be another great example of the differences in these button sizes, or I guess we could call them tap targets. You have the Series 6, and then you have the Series 7, and then you have the Series 10, and you can see how they are different sizes for each of the displays. So actually the advantage of the screen is showed here in real time. So that was a fun exercise to just show you the benefits of the display and really where you see the advantages. And I really wanted to break it down just to show you, depending on which model you have, this might make sense for you. Now, another feature here is the first ever wide angle OLED display. And how is that beneficial? Well, you can turn the display at different angles and see more. All right, so we know that on the left, the Series 10 has the wide angle OLED, which allows you to see up to 40% brighter when you're looking at it at an angle. Even in some angles, it's even up to 60% brighter. So what I'm gonna do here is we're just gonna turn our wrist, and what you can see here is that it appears, from what I can see, hopefully this shows on camera, that the right side, which is the Series 7 versus the Series 10, just isn't as bright. Another thing to factor in, this is a 2000 nits display. This is a 1000 nits display for max brightness as well. So you can see that right at that point, it still looks brighter on the left side on the Series 10. So this is just another feature, at least real subtle, not a game changer, but something to note of that. Yeah, it's true. Okay, we are here at my trusty scale now, and what do I have here on top? Apple Watch Series 10 and then Apple Watch Series 7. Now this is the stainless steel. This bugger, he has been so heavy. So let's put him on the scale. I mean, I've always felt that weight, 52 grams, all right? So I'm gonna take that off. And we've been told that titanium, the material, 20% lighter. So I'm gonna put this here. 42 grams, so that is basically 20%. And if you look at this, right, remember 9.7 millimeters, so that is going to be thinner, the thinnest Apple Watch already, so that contributes to it as well. I thought we'd have some fun though, because everyone wants to know, okay, well you do those two, what about the aluminum? This is that jet black, that polished, almost ceramic looking aluminum. So let's put this down on the scale. And we have 36 grams, so easily the lightest of the bunch. But when I look at these two here, look, the weight, you can even feel it in hand. Stainless steel, much heavier. Titanium still has that nice polished finish, thinner, lighter. So you'll be able to feel this difference on wrist. Another fun thing here with the display is that with the new S10 chip and the always on display, you're gonna be able to see second by second changes. So in some watch faces, maybe the watch hand, you'll see it tick every single second, or there's this one called Flux that you can see the seconds increase and fill the display. This is something that you didn't have before, and I will say it has a little charm. I'm not saying it's a reason to buy a new watch, but it is charming. When you see this Apple Watch, yes, it looks the same, but I really want to emphasize for me the fact that it's thinner, right? Okay, sure, 10% thinner, but what does that mean? What does that feel like? Putting on shirts or jackets, it just isn't as bulky. It also helps with it being a little lighter as well, but the thinness cannot be understated. And I think when those of you who end up purchasing this Apple Watch Series 10, you will notice it right away and you'll say, that's thin. Everything about this Apple Watch Series 10 is smaller. Think of it as they pretty much miniaturized a lot of the internal parts. The S10 chip, right, the system and package, that's smaller. You also have the digital crown. Although it's the same size here, it's a little smaller internally. And then you have the speaker. That's been reduced in size by 30%, but it also has another trick up its sleeve. So with that speaker we talked about, this has the ability to allow you to now play content. So it could be music or podcast directly from your wrist. I can imagine you don't have your AirPods with you, you don't have your phone with you, so this can be a substitute. I'm just gonna go here and get into the podcast app, and then I'm gonna play my favorite podcast, the Apple Bits XL. You know what I'm talking about. And here I play it.
Being able to capture the moment, right? Don't miss it. Have that.
And the audio is clean and clear. It's not gonna blow you away, but
There's so much more
you can.
capability we could bring to this.
I can totally just, okay,
Adding that capability.
get my fork,
Complexity to this amazing little
eat my salad.
Yeah, it was really fun to pull together. You know,
Yeah.
even as a content
Not a
creator,
game changer again, but a nice little incremental upgrade.
can be critical about products, but I've always said
All right, now we're here near the stove, and you know, Apple talks about voice isolation being a whole lot better on here. So I'm gonna call my buddy John Kim. We're gonna have some fun with utensils here. So let's call him. I hope I can even hear him myself. Okay, so let's see what happens.
Hey, it's Brian.
Here we go.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty clean.
It actually sounds pretty clean.
Yeah, it actually sounds pretty clean. Are you in like a studio?
I'm banging the utensils like
A foot away from you. I'm no even.
I put my wrist down. I'm the fan of the kitchen's going on in the stove. So okay, we'll just see what it sounds like in the end. But there you go.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a studio, to be honest. So, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I have to put my ear near the speaker just because it's so loud here.
That is wild, because I can't hear
You
anything.
can't even hear this right now.
I can't
You
hear
this?
any of the utensils going, or you said the kitchen fan's going too? No.
Yeah. Okay, this is good.
It's a good test. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you later, bro.
All right, cool. See you later.
All right. Dang, that's crazy. It worked pretty well. I mean, I guess I'll have to hear it for myself. Yes, the Apple Watch does still look pretty much the same, but I'll tell you, the most underrated feature of this has to be its charging. So in the previous Apple Watch, if you ran out of juice, 30 minutes got you 45% of battery life. Now, with the new Series 10, 30 minutes of charging gets you 80% of juice. That is a significant difference that I felt when I actually used it during the day, popped it on that charging puck. So that's gonna change how you use it. Also, for people that have complained about, oh, I don't like taking it off to charge it before I sleep. Well, look, 8 minutes on a charger now gives you 8 hours in sleep mode. That is gonna get you, most of you, through the night and track all those different sleep measurements and health metrics to put together for you, for those of you that really care. I don't really sleep with my Apple Watch that much, but the less barrier of entry and hassle it is to do things like that, I think it encourages me more to do that. Another thing, 18 hours of battery life total. Now, if you put it on low power mode, that's 36. If you really want more battery juice, and some people say, oh, why'd you make it thinner? I think thinner is an advantage, and if you just want something with more power, just jump up to the Ultra 2. There's a solution for that. So I wouldn't knock the fact that this is a thinner Apple Watch with less battery. It's a thinner Apple Watch that charges with more juice. A new app that is specific here to the Series 10, the Depth app. So what that means is when you set it up, when you jump into the water, the Depth app can automatically launch on your Apple Watch Series 10. Now, you know me, I took previous Apple Watches, surfing and snorkeling and scuba diving. This is really more for swimming and some snorkeling. It can go as deep as 20 feet. No one's gonna snorkel any deeper than that. You're gonna go scuba diving by the time you're down there, but this is a new feature that I can't wait to test out. Plus, there's a new tide app where you can see the tide during different hours of the day at different beaches locally nearby. Twist the digital crown or use your finger on the screen to see those changes. It's like they're trying to get me back to the beach. I'm not in Hawaii yet, but I will get there. Now we know the Apple Watch has really been tied so closely with health. That's why it's been so successful. Everything from your workouts, different things from weightlifting to shooting those hoops like I do, right? Also your runs, the deep metrics that it covers there, your sleep, your vitals, and even cycle tracking for women. So now there's a new feature that's been approved by the FDA that speaks to me. Now, one of the features that I'm excited for with the Apple Watch Series 10 is sleep apnea detection, because people close to me have told me that I probably have it. I've never had time to get tested. So with the Apple Watch Series 10 and an iPhone running iOS 18, you'll be able to do that, right? It'll create a full report. You can then take it to a doctor to get recommendations. But let's start here in the Health app. And then in this area where it's browse, I'm gonna click over there, and you're gonna wanna go to respiratory. And when I scroll here, you're gonna see an option here, sleep apnea notifications. Now there's some information about other respiratory things to be aware of, but let's go and set this up. I've never done this. This is the first time. It says sleep apnea notifications. You can receive a notification if Apple Watch identifies signs of sleep apnea. This is actually using just the accelerometer to measure this, no other sensor. Okay, and I'm gonna go here. Are these notifications for you? Are you 18 or older? Yes. Have you ever been diagnosed with sleep apnea? No. Okay, I'm gonna continue. It tells me how the notifications work. All right, you can be notified if there's breathing disturbances that suggest sleep apnea is there. And this is gonna be a process that they even tell you, it's disturbances over the course of 30 days, a 30-day trial period. Now, I know that you have to actually wear the Apple Watch and get measured at least minimum 10 of those 30 days. So this is gonna be a journey that we're gonna actually follow and dig into later, but I'm gonna hit next. Sleep apnea notifications turned on. All right, so wear your watch multiple times through those 30 days. And we obviously can't show you any data now, but we will follow this, and just another feature, another health feature that enhances your life and your health with Apple Watch Series 10. Since we're still talking health, I think we obviously have to talk about the blood oxygen sensor. Now, here's the thing. In a Series 10, the hardware is inside here. In the US, because Apple hasn't settled the dispute, you will not be able to get access to the app, but other countries can. Here's the other thing. If blood oxygen is important to you, I don't really use it that much, but if it is, well, then you might want to keep the watch that you already have. But the thing to know is that sleep apnea does not use any sensor other than the accelerometer. So that's going to be here. That's not going to be affected by blood oxygen. And if it's something important for you, then it's really just a wait and see. That might be the decision maker for you. So we gave you a lot of information there. I put all the pieces together, and clearly there's been a lot of significant upgrades to the Apple Watch Series 10. But if I'm being honest, even with the physical design changes, this is really more of an iterative change, right? It's not a groundbreaking change. I think that happens when the next true health sensor gets added to the Apple Watch. But when you look at this, look, I never upgraded. I have a Series 7. So I've waited a few years. I always upgrade when there's a design change, a physical design change. So this is the year for me. But I think what might surprise people is I think there's a group of people who own an Apple Watch Ultra who got it because it had the best battery life, who got it because it was big and chunky, and now realize like it's kind of bigger than they want it to be. This display, slightly bigger, thinner, lighter. The charging on it has been improved, so that I think mitigates some of the fact that you don't need that all day charge. And so I have a feeling that there's gonna be a group of people who are Ultra and Ultra 2 owners that see this Series 10 and are like, that's really appealing. But also people that are coming up, I'd say if you have an 8 or a 9, you probably don't need to upgrade. I'd say even if you have a 7, you might not need to. I do, because it's an actual, again, physical change. But if you're like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, Series 0, there actually are some people out there. I think this is a pretty killer upgrade for you when you hit that point. So yes, you want my final verdict. And look, I didn't upgrade for a series since the Series 7, so yes, I'm gonna upgrade on a Series 10. For me, this is a good Apple, but I think for a lot of you, it may not be. And you know what? That's okay.
Wakanda forever!